The reason Deathworld prison guards are always human. Looking back, I suppose it was inevitable that humans would end up dominating the intergalactic corrections industry. After all, who better to guard the galaxy's most dangerous criminals than the species universally classified as Deathworlders? Though if you asked Warden Jack Murphy about it, he'd just shrug and say we fell into it naturally, like humanity's peculiar talent for making coffee or surviving things that should definitely kill us. I remember my first day at Tartarus Station, the most secure prison facility in the known galaxy. The station hung in high orbit around a black hole, which seems like overkill until you realize some of our inmates can eat stars for breakfast. The massive structure was a testament to both advanced alien engineering and humanity's particular brand of paranoid overpreparation. Warden Murphy met me at the arrivals dock, his weathered face breaking into an easy grin that somehow made him look more intimidating. He was a tall man with the kind of build that suggested he could bench press a small shuttle, though he insisted it was just good genes and Earth's gravity doing its thing. "Welcome to Tartarus, Officer Cooper," he said, extending a hand. "I trust your trip through the quantum corridor wasn't too unsettling." I shook his hand, trying not to show how nauseous I still felt from the faster-than-light travel. "Only lost my breakfast twice, sir." He laughed. "You'll get used to it. The Raxians still can't believe we can handle quantum travel without protective stasis." Speaking of which, he gestured to a small group of alien guards hovering nervously by the security checkpoint. Their iridescent scales shifted colors as they monitored various holographic readouts. "Our non-human staff handles the technical side of things," Murphy explained as we walked past. "Great folks, brilliant with computers and security systems. Just don't ask them to handle any actual prisoners. Last time we had an incident, poor Zix VA fainted when an inmate looked at him funny. Took 3 days to convince him to come out of the ventilation shaft." As we made our way through the station's winding corridors, Murphy gave me the standard tour. The facility was divided into specialized containment wings, each designed to hold specific types of dangerous beings. We passed cells containing everything from sentient gas clouds to creatures made of pure energy. "Now, this is important," Murphy said, stopping at a massive reinforced door marked Wing D. "Every species we guard has specific containment protocols. The Void Walkers need quantum-locked chambers. The Stellar Devourers require constant neutron star matter feeds. The Mindrender Collective needs psychic dampeners." He paused for effect. "But you know what the most important safety protocol is?" I shook my head. "Coffee breaks," he said it with such seriousness that I thought he was joking at first. "Every human guard gets mandatory coffee breaks every 4 hours. The aliens think it's some kind of sacred ritual that keeps us from going berserk. Started after an incident where Jerry in Block C missed his morning coffee and scared half the staff by just yawning really wide. They filed 17 safety complaints about the human unhinging its jaw to display aggression." We continued our tour, passing more cells. In one, a mass of writhing tentacles pressed against the force field, its dozens of eyes tracking our movement. Murphy barely seemed to notice. "That's Bob. He tries to escape every Tuesday by offering to teach guards the secrets of immortality. Lovely conversationalist, terrible chess player." "Sir," I ventured, "I have to ask, why are all the guards human? Surely there are other species qualified for this work." Murphy stopped at a viewing window overlooking the prison's central hub. Below us, human guards calmly went about their duties, while various containment fields hummed with enough energy to power a small planet. "Tell me, Cooper, what do you know about classification of species in the galaxy?" "Standard stuff, sir. Class 1 through 10 based on technological advancement, cultural development, and threat assessment. And humans. Where I paused, suddenly understanding. We're the only species to be simultaneously classified as both Class 3 and Class 10. "Exactly," Murphy grinned. "Technologically, we're practically cavemen compared to most of our inmates. But on the threat assessment scale, we're right up there with the planet eaters and reality benders. The galaxy's greatest paradox, a species primitive enough to still get excited about pizza, yet sturdy enough to survive things that would obliterate most advanced civilizations." He gestured to the cells around us. "These beings? They're terrifying because they're powerful. But humans? We're terrifying because we're survivors. Nothing keeps a prison secure quite like guards who can accidentally survive a plasma explosion." because they were too busy complaining about their shift schedule to notice they should be dead. The intercom crackled to Life Warden. We have a situation in Block F. Jenkins made another dad joke, and now the telepathic inmates are filing a group complaint about mental anguish. Murphy sighed. Well, Cooper, ready to see why human prison guards get paid in hazard pay and unlimited coffee? I nodded, already feeling like I was going to fit right in. After all, how hard could it be to guard the galaxy's most dangerous criminals when you're technically classified as one yourself? My first official day of training started with Marcus Iron Gut Rodriguez showing me the proper way to survive an encounter with a quantum anomaly. His method, as it turned out, was to completely ignore it. See, most species try to calculate quantum probability fields and potential timeline disruptions, Rodriguez explained while casually walking through what looked like a localized time storm. But humans, we just walk through. Our brains are too primitive to properly process quantum uncertainty, so we kind of just exist through it. I watched in amazement as the laws of physics bent around him like they were embarrassed to be noticed. That's it? Just walk through. Pretty much. The universe usually gives up trying to figure out how to properly delete us from existence and just lets us pass. The quantum physicists hate it. They've written 17 papers trying to explain why we don't disappear when crossing quantum boundaries. Last I heard, they settled on humans are too stubborn to stop existing. Rodriguez was a legend among the staff, human and alien alike. He'd earned his nickname after accidentally eating a container of quantum unstable matter, thinking it was leftover curry. Instead of being scattered across multiple dimensions, he just complained about heartburn for a few days. The aliens had added 3 new classifications to their hazard assessment protocols after that incident. Now, Rodriguez said, leading me toward a heavily reinforced section of the prison, time to introduce you to our most interesting resident. Whatever you do, don't mention food courts. The cell we approached was larger than the others, its containment field humming with enough energy to power a small solar system. Inside, a massive being composed of what appeared to be dark matter and bad decisions floated menacingly. Cooper, meet K.R. Thax, the Planet Eater. K.R. Thax, this is our new guard, Dana Cooper. The entity shifted, forming what might have been a face if faces were typically made of cosmic horror and poor life choices. Greetings, tiny flesh being. Have you brought more of the spicy water? Rodriguez winced. We call it hot sauce, K.R. Thax. And no, not after what happened last time. You know the rules. But it was delicious. You destabilized your own molecular structure and nearly turned inside out. Worth it. I leaned toward Rodriguez. Hot sauce. Yeah. Turns out K.R. Thax here developed a taste for human condiments. We had to ban Tabasco after the Thursday incident. 3 alien species added capsaicin to their list of weapons of mass destruction. K.R. Thax's form rippled nostalgically. The burning was magnificent. As we continued our rounds, Rodriguez explained the finer points of human guard duty. Most of it involved being inexplicably immune to things that should, by all scientific logic, eliminate us from existence. The key, he said, while casually patting a tentacled horror on what might have been its head, is to remember that we're technically not supposed to be able to do any of this. The aliens spent centuries developing complex containment protocols, and then humans show up and just sort of. We passed a cell where a being of pure energy was doing what appeared to be crossword puzzles. Morning, Steve Rodriguez called out. The energy being flickered in response. The aliens still can't figure out how we tell them apart, he whispered to me. They're all just different patterns of quantum fluctuation to most species. We just gave them names based on their vibe. Our tour was interrupted by an alert from the alien guard station. Human Rodriguez, a panicked voice chirped, we have detected an anomaly in Sector 7. The reality bender is using the quantum fluctuations to try to order pizza again, Rodriguez sighed. Yes. How did you know? It's Tuesday. They always try to order pizza on Tuesday, he turned to me. Want to see how we handle reality benders who get takeout cravings? I nodded, trying to look professional while suppressing a grin. The trick, he explained as we walked towards Sector 7, is to remember that reality benders can alter the fundamental laws of physics, reshape matter at will, and create paradoxes that would drive most beings insane. He pulled a sandwich from his pocket. But they can't handle watching humans eat pineapple on pizza. That's it? You'd be surprised how many cosmic horrors are deeply disturbed by human eating habits. Last month we prevented a mass breakout by having the break room door open during Jenkins' homemade kimchi tasting session. 3 Class 10 entities voluntarily returned to their cells. As we approached Sector 7, I realized that perhaps the reason humans made such good prison guards wasn't our resilience, our immunity to cosmic horror, or even our ability to survive things that should definitely kill us. Maybe it was simply that we were just weird enough to keep the galaxy's most dangerous beings thoroughly confused. After all, how do you plan an escape when your guards don't follow the laws of physics, simply because they never bothered to learn them in the first place? It was during my 3rd week at Tartarus when everything went wrong. Naturally, it happened right in the middle of Taco Tuesday. The first sign of trouble was when the quantum containment fields flickered. Most species would consider this a catastrophic emergency. The humans in the break room mostly just complained about their microwave burritos getting cold. Alert. Alert, the station's AI blared. Critical power failure detected. Containment systems at 15% and falling. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. Rodriguez looked up from his half-eaten burrito. That's new. The alien staff burst into the break room in a panic, their scales flashing emergency patterns. Humans. The quantum core is destabilizing. Reality anchors are failing. The probability matrices are collapsing. We all going to die. Warden Murphy calmly sipped his coffee. Have you tried turning it off and on again? This is not the time for your human. Multiple cell blocks are opening. The safety protocols. Let me guess, Murphy interrupted, setting down his mug. The safety protocols have failed. Yes. All 17 layers of them. Yes. Even the backup protocols for the backup protocols. Especially those. Murphy nodded thoughtfully. Well, guess we'll have to do this the human way. He turned to the break room at large. All right, people. Looks like we're doing this old school. Cooper, you're with me. Rodriguez, grab the hot sauce. Jenkins, get the portable speaker. Someone wake up Thompson and tell him his nap time's over. I hurried after Murphy as emergency lights bathed the corridors in red. The sound of various cell blocks opening echoed through the station, along with the distinctive noises of several allegedly unstoppable cosmic entities discovering why humans were considered deathworlders. Sir, I ventured, shouldn't we be more worried? The containment fields are down. Cooper, let me tell you a secret about containing dangerous entities, Murphy said, as we power-walked through chaos. Fancy technology is nice, but sometimes you just need good old-fashioned human unpredictability. We rounded a corner to find a voidwalker attempting to phase through a wall. It froze upon seeing us, its darkness that eats darkness form rippling uncertainly. Dave Murphy said in his best disappointed father voice, "We talked about this." The cosmic horror actually managed to look sheepish. The door was open. And what did we say about open doors? Just because it's open doesn't mean we should walk through it. Back to your cell, Dave. But don't make me get Jenkins in here with his collection of dad jokes. The Voidwalker quickly slithered back to its cell. Over the next few minutes, I witnessed the most bizarre prison riot containment in history. Rodriguez was in Sector 4, armed with nothing but a bottle of extra hot sauce and a stern expression. The mere sight of the bottle sent 3 reality benders scrambling back to their cells. Jenkins had taken up position in the central hub, armed with the portable speaker playing what he called his Earth's Greatest Hits playlist. The sound of human music apparently caused such confusion among the psychic entities that they voluntarily returned to containment, rather than try to understand why humans would voluntarily listen to something called Cotton Eye Joe. In Block C, Thompson was handling a group of energy beings by showing them pictures of his cat. They were so baffled by the concept of keeping tiny predators as pets that they forgot about escaping. I found myself facing off against a quantum anomaly that had achieved sentience and was trying to calculate an escape route. It stopped mid-calculation when I tripped over my own feet, somehow accidentally created a closed time loop, and caught myself by breaking several laws of physics. But That test's not possible, it flickered at me. I shrugged. Probably not. Want to see me do it again? No. No, please. I'll return to containment. Your species hurts to think about. Within an hour, the situation was under control. The alien staff watched in bewilderment as humans casually escorted various cosmic horrors back to their cells, armed with nothing more dangerous than bad puns and hot sauce. I don't understand, one of the alien guards said to Murphy. The containment fields are down. The safety protocols failed. By all logic, we should be experiencing an extinction-level event. Murphy grinned. Logic doesn't really factor into it. See, most species try to contain these beings with advanced technology and careful protocols. But humans? We just treat them like rowdy teenagers who need a firm hand and clear boundaries. But they're some of the most dangerous entities in the galaxy. Sure. But have you ever tried explaining to a Class 10 reality bender why humans invented something called competitive hot dog eating? They get so confused trying to understand our species that they forget about escaping. As if to prove his point, we could hear Kaathax in the distance, but why would you consume processed meat tubes in such quantities for entertainment? It defies all rational thought. Rodriguez's voice responded, wait until I tell you about competitive pumpkin growing. What is a pumpkin, and why would you compete to grow it? I was beginning to understand why humans made such effective prison guards. It wasn't just our resilience or our ability to survive the impossible. It was our capacity to make the impossible seem mundane, to face cosmic horror with dad jokes, and to confuse entities capable of destroying solar systems with our peculiar habits. The power came back on eventually. The alien staff spent weeks analyzing the incident, adding new safety protocols, and trying to understand how the humans had prevented catastrophe armed with nothing but snack foods and bad music. They never did figure it out. Some things about humans are better left unexplained. Looking back, we should have known Kaathax was planning something. The signs were there: the suspicious lack of complaints about the cafeteria's no planetary consumption policy, the sudden interest in human shift schedules, and most notably, the complete absence of weekly requests for hot sauce. But like most catastrophes at Tartarus Station, it started with something mundane in this case, the coffee machine breaking down. What do you mean? We're out of coffee. Murphy's voice carried the kind of calm that makes survival instincts start packing their bags. The alien maintenance workers' chromatic scales shifted to nervous purple. The quantum particle accelerator that powers the coffee maker has ceased functional operations. Have you checked the filter? We have run 67 diagnostic protocols. The coffee filter, Dave. The little paper thing. Oh. That's when Kaathax made their move. The power didn't just fail this time, it transformed. Every light in the station turned into what appeared to be tiny dancing elephants. The gravity switched to what felt like maple syrup. And somewhere, somehow, someone was playing polka music. Greetings, primitive flesh beings. Kaathax's voice boomed through the station. I have decoded your weaknesses. Without your sacred bean water, you are powerless. Rodriguez appeared beside me, looking more annoyed than concerned. They always think they've figured us out. Last week, the Void Collective tried to escape by creating a zone of pure entropy, thinking humans couldn't survive it. He shrugged. Turns out it feels about the same as a Tuesday morning hangover. Kaathax's form had grown to fill an entire corridor, their dark matter body rippling with stolen energy. Observe as I manipulate your reality. Behold as I bend the laws of physics. Witness as I. Why aren't you running in terror? Murphy walked forward, empty coffee mug in hand. Kaathax, buddy, we've talked about inside voices. But I've removed the concept of sound from this sector. You shouldn't be able to speak. Yeah, we get that a lot. Listen, about this escape attempt, could we reschedule? We're dealing with a coffee situation here. I watched in fascination as Kaathax's form fluctuated between confusion and frustration. They had clearly expected more screaming and running, less mild inconvenience and scheduling conflicts. Your species continues to defy explanation. I have created a zone where physics itself has ceased to function. Thompson walked past, nose buried in his phone. Feels like a regular Monday to me. I have removed oxygen from the area. Jenkins' call from around the corner reminds me of that time I tried holding my breath in third grade for a record. I have literally turned the floor into a conceptual void of infinite death. Rodriguez glanced down. Kind of tickles. That's when I saw it, the moment when one of the most powerful entities in the galaxy realized they had made a terrible mistake. K-Arthax's form began to compact, their confidence visibly deflating. "This isn't going how you planned, is it?" Murphy asked kindly. "I don't understand. I studied your species. I calculated your limitations. I removed coffee from the equation." "See, that's where everyone gets it wrong," Murphy explained, absently stirring his empty mug. "They look at humans and see all these limitations. Can't breathe in space. Can't survive extreme temperatures. Can't process fourth-dimensional equations. But they miss the most important thing about humans. Which is, we don't care about what we can't do. We see a limitation and think, neat, let's poke it with a stick." Murphy gestured around at the chaos. "You removed physics? We've been ignoring physics since we figured out how to make fire. You bent reality? We bend reality every time we convince ourselves that 5 more minutes of sleep is the same as a full 8 hours. K-Arthax's form shrank further. "But the coffee? Oh, that just means we're mildly annoyed instead of our usual cheerful selves." The alien staff watched in amazement as Murphy talked down a reality-bending cosmic horror like a parent dealing with a toddler's tantrum. The same being that had once consumed a solar system was now being offered a timeout to think about their actions. "Here's what I don't understand," K-Arthax said, their voice smaller now. "You re a Class 3 civilization. You shouldn't be able to survive half the things you do. Your species still gets excited about finding shiny rocks. And yet here we are," Rodriguez chimed in, "having a pleasant conversation in a space where reality doesn't exist. It's not fair. Do you know how long it took me to learn how to bend reality? Millennia, and you just ignore it. If it helps," I offered, "we don't know how we do it either. We're just really good at adapting to whatever tries to kill us. It's kind of our thing." The polka music finally stopped. The gravity returned to normal. The elephant lights turned back into regular lights. K-Arthax, now about the size of a large dog, floated dejectedly. "You feel better after getting that out of your system?" Murphy asked. Yes. Ready to go back to your cell, I suppose. But I have one more question." "Shoot. What's a dog?" And that's how we spent the next hour, showing K-Arthax pictures of puppies on our phones, watching as one of the most dangerous beings in the universe tried to understand why humans would selectively breed predators to be cute and friendly. By the time we got them back to their cell, they were already asking about cats. The alien staff later added another amendment to the safety protocols in the event of reality-bending escape attempts. Remind entities that humans will probably just walk through it anyway. They also fixed the coffee maker, though Murphy insisted on checking the filter first. As for K-Arthax, they started a support group for cosmic entities trying to understand human behavior. Last I heard, they're still stuck on trying to explain why humans invented social media. Some questions even reality benders can't answer. After the Great Coffee Crisis, as it came to be known, things at Tartarus Station settled into a new kind of normal. The alien staff still jumped at shadows, but now they also jumped at the sight of humans casually drinking coffee. Progress, of a sort. My big moment came during what was supposed to be a routine cultural exchange program. Someone in management had decided it would be good for staff morale to have a share your species snacks day. In retrospect, combining human junk food with beings capable of devouring stars was asking for trouble. It started when K-Arthax, still trying to understand humanity, asked about something called pop rocks. Explain this confection that explodes in one's mouth, they demanded during recreation hour. Is it some form of combat training? Nah, Rodriguez said, pulling a packet from his pocket. It's just candy. Here, try some. The alien guards watched in horror as Rodriguez casually handed reality-bending cosmic horror what was, technically, an explosive. K-Arthax's form rippled with anticipation as they consumed the entire packet at once. The resulting reaction could probably have been seen from 3 solar systems away. A sensation. It's SKR Thax's form expanded rapidly, turning colors that shouldn't exist in our dimension. That's when I had my moment of human ingenuity. While everyone else was panicking about KR Thax's molecular structure going haywire, I remembered something from Earth history class about using carbonation to make yourself burp. KR Thax, I shouted. Tried burping? What is this burping you speak of? Just sort of push the fizzy feeling up and out. The resulting cosmic belch temporarily created 3 new elements on the periodic table and caused a minor temporal displacement. When reality settled back into place, KR Thax had returned to their normal size, looking as sheepish as a being of pure dark matter could look. I apologize for the disruption, they said, their usual booming voice now more of an embarrassed whisper. Your species creates recreational molecular destabilizers and gives them to children. Wait until you hear about Sour Candy Jenkins called from across the room. The alien guards stared at us with a new level of horror. One of them was frantically updating the safety protocols. Note: human candy is now classified as a Class 3 reality-bending substance. Approach with extreme caution. Murphy appeared, somehow looking both disappointed and amused. Cooper, good thinking with the burping solution. Though maybe next time we start with something milder? Like those little sugar packets that fizz. You mean fun, Dip, Rodriguez suggested. No more human snacks, the alien guards chorused. KR Thax, however, had developed a thoughtful ripple in their dark matter. I believe I now understand why humans are such effective prison guards, they announced. Oh, Murphy raised an eyebrow. Your species regularly consumes substances that cause molecular destabilization for entertainment. You experience reality-bending events before you even reach maturity. No wonder you are unaffected by our powers. You've been training for this since childhood. The alien guards started updating their reports again, this time adding theory human resilience may be result of early exposure to recreational physics violations. I caught Murphy trying not to laugh. Sure, let's go with that explanation. Sounds better than we just think fizzy candy is neat. The aftermath of the Pop Rocks incident led to several changes at Tartarus Station. The alien staff started a research project into human snack foods, treating each new discovery like a potentially world-ending phenomenon. They weren't entirely wrong. Have you seen what happens when you combine Mentos and diet soda? KR Thax, for their part, became fascinated with human cuisine. We had to establish new guidelines about what snacks were allowed in the prison after they tried to recreate Pop Rocks using actual exploding stars. The resulting creation was officially classified as a weapon of mass destruction, though Rodriguez insisted it wasn't even as strong as ghost peppers. As for me, I earned a reputation as the guard who could think like a human while understanding cosmic entities. Murphy said it made me the perfect bridge between normal space-time and whatever it is humans naturally do to physics. The alien guards still don't quite understand how we do it. They've written countless reports trying to explain humanity's apparent immunity to cosmic horror and reality manipulation. The leading theory involves something about humans being so disconnected from normal physics that we loop back around to being hyper-connected to it. Personally, I think we're just too stubborn to let little things like impossible, or that violates the laws of physics, get in our way. After all, when your species invented edible glitter, everything else seems pretty tame in comparison. 6 months after the Pop Rocks incident, I found myself in Warden Murphy's office, staring at a new set of protocol guidelines. The document was titled Updated Safety Procedures for Human Staff Integration, version 47.3 now with coffee breaks. Congratulations, Deputy Warden Cooper Murphy said, sliding the document across his desk. You'll be helping implement these new protocols. I blinked at the title change, then at the first page of the document, which read Primary Protocol in case of reality-bending events, cosmic horror manifestations, or temporal paradoxes, consult nearest human guard. They're probably having coffee. The alien staff spent 3 months trying to quantify how humans manage to contain cosmic entities with nothing but snack foods and bad jokes, Murphy explained. They finally gave up and just made it official policy. The new protocols included such gems as mandatory coffee breaks are now classified as critical reality anchoring procedures. Human music playlists must be maintained as Class 10 containment measures. Dad jokes are officially recognized as non-Euclidean verbal deterrents. The break room is designated as a strategic human unpredictability zone. Sir, I ventured, about why humans really took these jobs. Murphy's eyes twinkled. Figured it out, have you? K.R. Thax's support group was the final clue. We're not just guards. We're teaching them. Got it in one. Murphy leaned back in his chair. Turns out being the most primitive species in the galaxy has its advantages. Every cosmic horror, reality bender, and star eater out there, they all went straight from basic existence to godlike power. Never learned the simple stuff. He gestured at the prison around us. But humans? We had to figure out how to exist as regular beings first. How to make friends, tell jokes, enjoy simple things like coffee and candy, and somehow that makes us the perfect teachers for beings that never learned how to just. As if on cue, K.R. Thax's voice echoed from the recreation area. I have achieved a new understanding of human culture. Observe as I attempt the ritual known as a high five. This was followed by the sound of something that might have been a cosmic high five, and then Rodriguez's voice. Maybe let's try a fist bump next time, buddy. Less reality warping. C. Murphy grinned. 6 months ago, K.R. Thax was trying to collapse the universe. Now they're learning handshakes. I call that progress. So all this time, the real prison rehabilitation program was teaching cosmic horrors how to chill out? Pretty much. Turns out it's hard to want to devour solar systems when you're busy trying to understand why humans invented miniature golf. The intercom crackled. Warden. The Void Collective is requesting clarification on the concept of weekend plans and why humans require them for optimal functionality. Murphy sighed contentedly. You know what the best part is, Cooper? We get paid to do this. The galaxy's most dangerous beings are literally paying us to teach them how to relax and enjoy life. And why do humans require these vacation days? K.R. Thax's voice boomed from somewhere. Because sometimes you just need to spend a week at the beach doing nothing, Rodriguez's patient voice replied. Fascinating. And this nothing is enjoyable. Most enjoyable thing there is, buddy. I looked at my new deputy warden badge and smiled. Somewhere out there, the most powerful entities in the universe were learning about human concepts like casual Fridays and coffee breaks. The galaxy's greatest horrors were discovering the simple pleasure of doing nothing important at all. And humans? We just kept doing what we do best, surviving the impossible, ignoring the laws of physics, and teaching eldritch abominations how to appreciate the little things in life. After all, someone has to show cosmic entities how to take it easy. Might as well be the species that invented bubble wrap for fun. Oh, and Cooper, Murphy called as I turned to leave. K.R. Thax is starting a book club next week. They want to understand why humans write fiction. Maybe don't start them off with science fiction just yet. I nodded. Romance novels it is, sir. Now explain the concept of a coffee break again. K.R. Thax's voice echoed through the station. Why must it occur precisely at 3 p.m.? Just another day at the office, teaching the universe's most powerful beings how to be a little more human.